Hi there, good morning. How are you doing today? Thank you for joining this live. If you have any questions, things you want to talk about, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, I tend to be pretty quiet unless we get started on a topic. Thank you so much for liking the live. Much appreciated. Hi everybody, welcome, welcome. How's everyone doing today? I'm just getting my base colors down so that I can start painting this piece. I have not yet finished my other, where did it go? This one, my scarecrow and bird one. I have not yet finished this one. I'll come back to it, but I was just excited to start this one. So I'm gonna start here, see what happens. Hi, hello. I just decided to try something a little bit spooky. We'll see how it goes. We'll see. And I'm also going to make the background just a little bit darker. I think it's easier for everyone's eyes, including my own. Well, thank you so much for the kind words. Okay. And I might change my colors over time. I still have not, I did not pre-plan this. The only thing I planned was the sketch. I like when I go live to just sort of practice like painting on the fly and just sort of seeing my ability to pull things together. I think it's important to not always pre-plan everything. That's what my tutorials are for, is when I take the time to really break everything down and make it make sense for you guys. But when I'm live, I like to just have fun and take it at my own pace. Not that I don't find the tutorials fun. They are fun. I love the tutorial stuff. But oh, thank you so much for subscribing. Much appreciated. Thank you. The support of my channel means a lot. I am still a newer channel, so, you know, I'm slowly but surely building a community and a following, so I appreciate the support very much. Thank you. And I promise this will all come together in time. I'm really just blocking out where I want colors to be. Yes, spooky season is fun. I love all the art that comes out of this time of year. One of my favorites for sure. I'm going to just put the opacity down a touch. Okay, more than a touch, around 25%. But I think you get the idea. Just make it a little bit easier to track what I'm doing without the sketch in the way. I did just open a Patreon. I have nothing that's, I have one thing posted. It's free. It's one of the sketches to one of my more difficult pieces, the Magical Portal. If you guys haven't seen that one or checked it out, if you want to follow me on Patreon, by all means, feel free to do so. How can you get there? That's a great question. It's the same username as I have for my channel here. The easiest way to probably find that, though, is going to my Magical Portal video. Oh, Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for the support. I have been doing digital painting for a really long time, and every time I started doing anything that could bring in either passive income or just take myself a little bit more seriously, I've always given up on it, and I think that just you know, trauma, man, and I've worked through a lot of it, so hopefully now I can stick to it. You know, I think I'm at a place where I believe in myself enough to do it. Am I the world's greatest artist? No, but I'm always learning and growing, so hopefully, you know, you guys can learn and grow with me. All right, let's see how this is looking. All right, I want some balance. I want some of these bigger leaves over here. We'll add, you know, shading, coloring, figure out our light sources. I definitely am going to have one light source here, so it'll be a warm glow at the front that will pick up off of the skeleton and definitely the pumpkin, and then obviously on the rib cage here. And I also wanted there to be like a magical, oh, sorry, my palm caught on the screen. And then for the like cauldron in the background, I want there to be some sort of glowy mystical light, and then so that will provide some backlighting along the jaw here on the back side, and then also in this book, maybe here, and even catching a little bit on the back side of this pumpkin. So I think one thing that I didn't do for the longest time was really decide my color, or not, sorry, not my color, my lighting ahead of time. And so I always I encourage people, like, know where your light source is coming. Once we get the general colors down, that's great, but then after that you have to really know where the light sources are coming from to make the piece successful. And lighting is probably one of my favorite parts of my paintings. So, okay, so this is a nice blank layer. Let's see, what do I want to do next? I'll go behind here. I'll start on this. And this is, let's see, this is like one of my personal palettes. I'm going to duplicate it so that way I can mess around and not feel afraid that I won't be able to find it again. Okay, so I'm going to just get rid of this one and fill it with this color. And if you guys have any questions, topics you want to discuss, feel free to put them in the chat, as long as they're appropriate. Yes, Halloween. Oh, question, guys. What's your favorite Halloween candy? I am just a sucker for the apple pops. Oh my god. I cannot get enough. It is like last year I decided to get some. I was like, let's be nostalgic. Let's get ourselves some. They were your favorite candy as a child, and now I'm addicted again. That's okay. You only live once. I used to hate them, but now they are needed. Yeah, like, I mean, chocolate, I always love chocolate. That's like a go-to, but I can have that any time of year, you know? I can have chocolate year round, but you know what I can't have all the time? I cannot have my apple pops. My youngest, he's 5, and I keep the, like my kids totally welcome to any candy they want. I'll even share my candy, but I know if I leave it downstairs, they'll eat all of my candy. So I have my candy upstairs because it's mine. And And my little guy comes up, I think it was last night or the night before, and he's like, where'd they all go? And I'm like, well, we ate them. And he's like, you ate them all? And I was like, I gave you some of them. We ate them together. And he's like, but there's no more. I'm like, yeah, we'll get more. And he's like, okay. Oh, he's so sweet. Now, I'm going to be honest, my skeleton is probably not the most anatomically correct, in case you couldn't tell. And I'm not ashamed to say I don't mind that. I did take anatomy in college for drawing. I took 2 different anatomy classes. One was what was it? It was like drawing artists. It was some sort of like drawing like the human anatomy for artists class, and then I also took an animal anatomy class, so we could study animals, and that was cool. We went to the zoo every week, and like took like buses there and stuff. It was fun. And then we also had some animals actually come into the classroom as well, and that was neat. What color do I want my candles? For now, I'm gonna go with just like a basic color, just like a brownish color, and I can decide later. One of the animals that came into our classroom was a cheetah, a legitimate cheetah, and it was the cheetah that they modeled for Narnia. Yeah, and it was terrifying because no joke, I was probably sitting only like maybe 15-20 feet away. And they had warned us, you know, if you make any sudden moves or any sudden like sounds, make sure that you stay still. And the person sitting next to me dropped their pencil sharpener, and I could have killed him. I was like, I will not be mauled today, thank you. It was very, very cool. It was a long time ago because I am old now, but it was cool. That was back when I lived in like San Francisco area. So I went to school in the city, and that was neat. I'm just getting some of the shadows down, but I'll even color this because we're gonna figure that out soon. But I'm not gonna stress about it too much. Isn't it weird when you like draw something like this and it starts out so basic, you're like, how could it ever turn to something more? I had this experience when I was drawing this one. It ended up coming together, but my pumpkin and my little crows, they were very basic, and I was like, I don't know that I'm going to be able to get this, but I went from, it was using this exact style that I'm using now, so I know it'll come together, but it's really hard to look at it and not be like, that's what I'm doing. But just got to be patient as it all comes together. Let's see, I'll go over here. I'm just going to add these details. I'm sure you guys will notice I kind of bounce around on the canvas. I do that for a couple of reasons. One, it keeps my eyes fresh, so that way if there's any adjustments that I need to make, I can spot them more easily, because when you stay super fixated on one area and you don't change it up, you know, like I'm able to see things differently when I give my eyes a break. But then also I get bored and I lose interest if I stay in one area too long. I'll literally give up on a painting if I stay in one area for too long. So I need to move around. It keeps me excited, keeps me invested. Just being honest. see. So I just learned this the other day. I've been working on this for like 4 years on Procreate for 4 years. I don't know how I didn't know it. I think it's just because I don't really mind going through all the steps to get the buttons, but I'm on the Inka brush right now, and my eraser is on Blackburn, but if I wanted to get the Inka brush to also be the eraser, I just got to hold down on the eraser, and now it's going to be the Inka brush. Isn't that fun? Neat. Like I worked in Photoshop for like 10 years, and there were still like things I was learning by the time I switched over to Procreate. It's amazing that you can work in a program for a long time and still learn new stuff in it. Different ways to utilize the settings or buttons. Oh, awesome. Yeah, no, you're definitely not alone. I know some people can, I think everybody's brains work a little bit different. I think everyone, art's different as well. And whatever method works for you, this method is important for me to be successful. I figured that out a few years ago, and because I always kept trying to do no, don't move around, stick right here. That's where but then I'd lose interest, and it wasn't working. And then one day I just said, you know what? Stop worrying about how you're doing it and just do it. And that ended up being really, really helpful. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to adopt this method because I actually completed something for once. I think I have ADHD. My dad has it. My youngest just got diagnosed with it. So I think that sort of helps me better understand why I need to be constantly moving around and being active. Hi, welcome Samantha. Hello, what kind of artist are you? What is the subject matter that you like to paint the most? Mine is typically nature. Nature is, oh gosh, it's my passion, but I am trying to diversify more and just push myself. I think we all grow better as artists when we go outside of our comfort zones and try different things. So some of my best projects have been ones that were just completely outside of what I was comfortable with. And I learned a lot, and I ended up falling in love with, the subject matter or the techniques that I was using. So. I'm just going to go all the way over here because that little gap's going to be weird later. So I'll just do that, which means this needs to be erased and straightened out a bit so it actually goes all the way over there. I'm going to choose black and put this on the back side. Take off the sketch so I can test out how it looks. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, thank you both so much. Ooh, space and nature, very nice. Yes, the app that I'm using is Procreate. So Procreate, this is what it looks like. It's available on Apple products. There's like a Pocket Edition for iPhones, and then there's these for the iPads. I have not ever used the Pocket Edition. I hear that it's difficult, but I also know that there's always going to be some sort of adjustment period no matter what you do. Learning to draw after being a digital or a traditional artist, all my life, when I switched to digital, there was a period where it was very uncomfortable and frustrating, and it felt, different, and different didn't necessarily equate to good at the time. So, and thank you so much for the compliment of being underrated. Hopefully I will be more rated in time, like appropriately rated. There's a lot of good artists out there. I did just start, I've had this channel open since last year, but I didn't actively and consistently work on it until starting July this year. I had the intention of doing it last year, but I also was juggling my other business, and I just couldn't do both, so I had to choose. So I finished up my other business stuff and now I'm focused on my art. So working on growing and expanding over time. And take that. Hey, don't give me attitude. Hello. Okay, cool. So you're traditional. What medium do you, or mediums do you like to work in? I still do some traditional painting. I recently just got interested in watercolor over the last year. It was a medium that I never quite mastered or understood well. I remember doing it in middle and high school. You know, for my classes, it was a requirement that we, you know, try different mediums. And I really hated it back then, if I'm being honest. But I just saw such amazing work. Thank goodness for the internet, right? Like the ability to connect with all kinds of different, really skilled content creators and artists. And I really fell in love with the way that like watercolor was happening. And I was like, I've got to figure this out. So I have my watercolors. I also like gouache. And I do have acrylics, though I have not pulled them out in a while, but I do like, acrylic used to be my go-to. I think it's because of the control factor in the acrylic. Watercolor has really helped with my perfectionism because you basically have to just say, I'm hoping it turns out a certain way, but the water and the paint have a mind of its own. There is some element to it that it's just not always predictable, no matter how much you might know what you're going for. And I love that about it. One of my favorite things about it. The unpredictability forces you to just let go a little bit. Hi, hello. All right, I'm going to, all right, I will just put, okay, so if I have a yellow glow here, maybe a purplish glow in the background, or do I want green or teal? Okay, I'm gonna start with teal. Worst case, I can change it later if I don't like the way that it's resting. Watercolor is my go-to, and as a perfectionist, it can be so hard. Yes, I really encourage anybody. One of the best things that I've done is, even if I don't post it for like social media, I will record myself painting, because I can look back and see where I was like, wow, I did it. You know, from start to finish, I like all the methods, techniques that I used and just the direction that I headed. Or I can look at it and go, oh, that was the point where I should have just left it. It looked good there. And then I kept going and going and, and going and overpainting. So I enjoy, you know, filming my work, because then I'm able to, you know, just get a sense of like when I get into my head, when I start to overthink and not just allow the project to come together all on its own. All right, so we'll see, but I think I want this just a little bit shorter. I think that looks better. Let's see. Let me take off that for a sec. Oh, sorry. I'm struggling. Give me a moment. I'm so sorry. Okay, like that or like that. I would take out some of this extra swirl. I think that actually looks good. Okay, I'm just gonna keep it. I can always adjust the size later. To make this not so much that, I'm going to stay on the Inca brush, and I'm just going to soften up and paint some of this out. And I will be adding that to a lot of like the painting style. Once I add layers, like this will be smudged out and we'll add shading and stuff. So this won't look out of context for long. Continuity is key. Wow, hello. And I'm hating all of this, so now you guys get to see me in real time, just not liking it. So I'm just going to start with a blob and smudge that way. Smudge like this. All right, and then for later, I'm just going to add this now so I can kind of get a sense. So I have it on add, which is a blending mode. And I'm just going to add in some of the glowy effect now, so I can start thinking about how light's going to interact and if I even like this design. Going to try first making a clipping mask. How do I feel about that? No. Okay. I'm just going to smudge it out and blend it in. You don't want to over smudge because then you'll lose some of the really nice textures. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there for now. Just an example, real quick though. So if I put this on, say, add, I'll be able to add in colors in here to make it more. Nope, okay, it's not gonna work on this light color, so ignore me for a second. We'll use a different, we'll start with normal so we can actually see normal. Like I said, stay on normal, thank you. Go back to this color. Just sort of start getting some of this light established in here. And the best way to do that sometimes is through blending modes, and if that doesn't work, then just hand painting it in and keeping it as normal and just figuring out exactly what colors you want. I kind of like this one, the hue glowy or color. I could also duplicate it, see if that does anything. It does not. That'd be good. Okay, just want to get an idea. So this skeleton might be too yellow of a color. I might end up making it whiter later. We'll see. I'm just trying to play around and make sure that it's coming along. Now, where is my sketch? There it is. I still need the book. Yeah, I think already. Let's make this take out the saturation. So at this point, it's a light gray. It's definitely not white. So I'm going to have it be a light gray as the foundational color. I might make it even a touch darker. Put on the alpha lock and then press fill, and it'll change that color for us. Okay. And let's try using that. So then when we do this, I think it'll show up better. And not, yeah, this will show up much better than before. And not compete with yellow. And then we'll also have, assuming this will be a yellow light, I can't imagine why it wouldn't be. And I suppose it's magic, so there's no rules, right? But we are going to have then yellow sort of bouncing off on this side. And then there would also be yellow over here. We'll deal with that soon too. I know it's hard to see on the camera, sorry. For back here, we'd want to definitely darken up. And then maybe even consider putting in more of like a yellow. And then we can use the smudge tool and start working that in here. And then I'm just going to clean up this side just a bit. There we go. Ooh, okay. I like the idea of the purple. I might change this then now, because I think purple would be good. And I'm not worried about the fact that the flames did that, because I'm definitely going to have to keep painting those more. So I'm going to change the color by sliding this around purple. Start with it dark, and then we'll do lighter colors on top of it. Okay. Yeah, I think that'll be fun. And I might even take down the opacity for now on it and figure out what I want to do with it. All right, which means this part needs to be purple. And this is why we work in layers. And I will definitely add more, but I'm gonna move away from this for a few minutes as I say that, and then I'm like, well, obviously it needs a little bit of detail here, obviously. Okay, I'm gonna work on the pumpkin. I do need to do this book, and okay, take a deep breath. I'm going to work on these first, actually, the vines for a second. And put on Alpha Lock. First, I want to change their color a bit. I want to make them darker to start, and I'll paint them lighter. So base color is a really dark green now. And now I can do some lighter stuff. And since it's on Alpha Lock, that means when I go to paint in here, it won't paint all of the area, just wherever the Alpha Lock is on, which it's on this. So I can I can draw without worrying about it bleeding onto the rest of the painting. And I'll take off the sketch for now. use one of these. Are these the same? They're the same. Okay. Going back to that color. And I'll probably add one more color in for like highlights, but I'm just gonna finish this up first before I get ahead of myself. I feel like they're cute. They're coming along. I might be a little biased, but I think they're cute. Yeah, I think that bright color might be fun to put in here. We'll see. There we go. I feel like that's somewhat balanced. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Believe me, I've had moments while I'm talking to you guys and looking at this that I've hated it, but I know to just trust the process and keep going. I feel like all of us have to have those moments in what we're working on. Sometimes we end up actually hating the piece, and sometimes we just need to have a moment with it where we just go, I don't know about you. Some skepticism, I guess, is healthy. Now, I haven't decided yet if I'm going to do this or not. I'll try it, but I don't know that I'll keep it. I have a brush. So the Aurora brush, this one's amended. Let's do a color so it's easier to see. So we'll use green. So I have this Aurora brush amended. The things that I changed about it were in the color dynamics. I took them out, so they're all at none, because that's one of the things about this brush is that, here's the original. The colors are a little bit too chaotic for me, depending on what I'm using it for. I'm not a fan. So I like the Aurora brush with the solid color. More predictable for my brain. The dynamics, I like a size jitter, so that way it feels more randomized. And then I also like creating a jitter and a certain amount of spacing, so that way it can create really nice foliage. It also can create really nice like vines if you spread it out more. This one's a good vine one. Creates nice little vines. So let's see how this does. And just to add a little, just to add. It's too much. Maybe that, but I need to erase the extra here. Maybe just a bit smaller because I like the bigger leaves. I just don't want it to be overbearing. Maybe I can even have, no, but maybe some over here. All right, so we'll see how that looks. Again, the nice thing about working in layers is I can always take it off if I don't feel like it's gonna vibe with it later. So I'll take it off for now because it doesn't vibe quite yet since we're still in between going from these solid colors into a full-blown painting. Let's go back to my Inca brush. All right, I'm going to first darken this up, and then I'll use that light color to soften up some of these areas. And make sure I'm on the right brush. Trying to keep in mind that the light source is coming from these candles over here. The program thank you so much. The program I'm using is PROCREATE. It's for Apple products, I believe. So for iPad and iPhone. I really wish they'd make it compatible with like all devices. I really wish that. All right, now I'm going to select this color. I'm actually going to work with this color. I'm going to add a new layer, create a clipping mask, and make it a multiply blending mode. It'll look a little dark at first. Once we smudge it, it will lighten up, and then on top of it, I can also adjust the opacity as needed. I want there to be just some shadow in between. Oh gosh, I just learned the other day what these are called. Ribs, the ribs of the pumpkin. I want the ribs of the pumpkin to show up. And then back here, it would be much more prominent because there's less light that would reach the back side of this. Oh, I'm so sorry. It's so frustrating. This, I feel like PROCREATE is just missing out on like the developers are missing out on so much more, like let's be honest, it's a business. They're missing out on so much business because of the fact that it's only for Apple products. Because this is literally, for me, like one of the best programs that I've worked on. I worked on Photoshop for years and that was great, but for what I use it for, it was a little just too big, too bulky, too much. I didn't need that whole thing. And this program is also extremely affordable, you know, and there's nothing wrong with Photoshop. I have nothing against it. If that is your program of choice and it works for you, fantastic. I'm not about to yuck someone's yum. Like if that makes you happy and you work well with it, that's fantastic. But for the money, this worked really well for me because it was only a one-time payment rather than a monthly installment to essentially rent the usage. So okay, so I'm gonna add some yellow light here. I'm getting lighter back here. Okay, so that's good enough to say we have like the base colors down. I think all of us can agree that's likely a pumpkin. Maybe not. If you feel like this does not read as a pumpkin, by all means, let me know. Let me know before I go any further. And I'm trying to figure out where do these lines belong from? Like where? Is it here? Is it here? Ah, okay, fine. Let's take off the, there we go. Oh, thank you, thank you. Okay, so I'm going to combine the layers. This is the pumpkin. If I end up needing to repaint anything, I feel comfortable enough with it, but this is a good enough shape that I'm just going to combine those layers. Now I want to work on this up here, the stem. So I'm going to real quick touch up any areas that I feel need just a little bit of work and reshaping. Okay. Good enough. I might reshape this just a tiny bit here. Okay. And I like to make this stem look like it's twisting. So I'll show you guys what I typically do. So adding a new layer, I'm going to create a clipping mask. I'll incorporate some of the colors from here. I'm trying to think, would that be too much? Well, only one way to find out. So I'll use green this time. Usually I use like browns, but so I'm just gonna wrap around with my line work. Keeping in mind that on this back side it's going to be darker because the light sources are coming from up here as well as down here where the mysterious candles are. I can use this layer to lighten and smudge. Oh no. I apologize in advance for the lawnmower. There's always, at some point during the week, there's always got to be one. Okay, so I'm just blending. So that's a good start, but I'll show you what I think ends up helping make it look more realistic is actually now starting to grab the colors in here and painting some like bumps and grooves rather than having it be a perfectly straight line shape. So if you zoom out, already that starts to look more realistic. I just got my sister's tablet and I'm still trying to do the basics. Worked on Photoshop a long time ago. I'm more traditional, so it's hard to translate. I so get this. I so get this. And even, you know, like honestly, I'll still have to look up tutorials by other artists who are mastered in areas that I'm not, because there are things that I'm like, I genuinely, my brain is not computing how to translate this, you know, from what I would normally do traditionally into digital. You know, so please know they're like, that's normal. I guarantee you almost every, I mean, I would be surprised if every content creator in here hasn't watched somebody else's content for guidance. You know, that's how we grow, because not all of us know everything. There's going to be areas that we focused on and developed that other artists developed while we were working on something else. I personally, I don't want to project this on anyone, but I personally used to believe that like, you know, oh, if I just wasn't naturally good at drawing it, then it must be that it's because I'm not a good artist. I used to believe that like reference was cheating. or, you know, needing a tutorial meant that I wasn't, you know, adequate. And it's just BS. That was the story that I was stupidly rendering in my mind, and that's not how it works. Okay, I think I like the details, but I think I painted them way too small for like the context of this. So I'm gonna just, I like the shape, so I'm just gonna go back in, use the clipping mask. I'm just gonna draw back over with some dark colors, and I'm going to use less detail this time. And I might even make these bumps a bit more pronounced and larger, so they're easier to read from afar, because right now it's not going to read from afar. Zooming in and out is really important. Making sure, like the same way that we would step away from a painting, like a physical painting, literally zooming in and out allows us to go, would this read from a distance? Is this a detail I'm getting hung up on that literally no one will know is there but me? I do that often, so I have to do this. And I'm going to do more browns. I've just decided it's gonna happen. So, okay. And hopefully this reads just a little bit better from a distance. I think so. All right, boom. So now I want to work on this, the face. And there's nothing quite like thinking you want it one way and then finding out you actually don't want it that way. So we're going to try it based on the way that I drew it, and we'll see if I stick to that. Okay, so here would be where the cutout actually is. I don't need to draw that part, because that part would have been like, right, if we were actually carving a pumpkin, it would have been carved away. Okay, so at least that part looks right. All right, and maybe I can make this just a bit more pronounced. And I can fix the shape later, so I'm going to start working over here on this one. Okay, and then there's a little bit there, and the rest here. All right, I think some of it's working. There are some adjustments that I can make that would make it more readable from a distance. So I'm going to try and make this eye a little bit more pronounced. Okay, and something that's utterly going to drive me insane is these not being like equal. So I'm going to make sure they're on the same plane. Okay. Hi, hello. I was searching, and apparently Procreate is coded in iOS. Oh, that makes sense. Like a human nose and mouth? I could. It's not my forte, but I definitely could. I know how. I have drawn people and faces before, and that's actually going to be my focus of 2025. I want to get better at that, because I'm better at like characters and nature. Oh, on the pumpkin, yes, I'm going to put I am going to put a nose and a mouth on him. Nose, I opted not to on the sketch, but we'll see. I think it actually would look better with a nose, so We're going to start here. I'm also going to show you guys how to do the shading so it looks like the pumpkin is in fact hollowed out. So it doesn't just have black eyes, but then also that means that we'd be able to use the lighting from the candles over here to sort of highlight the eyeballs. Another example of a pumpkin, I have this tutorial out, are these. So I'll teach you guys how to do this, the inside where you see that it's been carved. So if you guys are looking to just paint pumpkins, I have this tutorial out already. I also have just a regular basic pumpkin, if that's another thing you'd like to paint. Thank you so much. Okay, going back over here. Let's see, keeping it on the same plane, at least attempting to. I'm gonna go like this. I will erase the areas in a second. I just want to get the mouth shape right. Fill it in. All right, and now I'm on the Inca eraser. And I don't have my, I mean, I have the sketch on, but I'm obviously I can't see the sketch, so I'm just freeballing it right now. No, give me the color black, please. Thank you. This app is called PROCREATE. It is compatible with iPhones and iPads. So this is the, I don't know if it's small, I apologize. So that's the app. Okay, I'm gonna play around with a couple different noses. I may decide to still not use a nose, but I'm gonna try a couple noses. All right, first I'm thinking just like a cute little triangle nose, upside down. That's kind of fun. Another option is to move it to be a triangle at the top. Which one do you guys like? Do you like it? So you do have to pay for it. The nice thing about this app though is it's a one-time payment, at least to my knowledge. I think right now the price is $12.99. When I got it, it was $9.99, but that was 4 years ago. So the price has increased, as has everything else in this world, but it's a one-time payment. And personally, like, I literally cannot say enough. I have no affiliation with PROCREATE. I just love this app. I can't say enough good things about it. It is constantly updating. It has really neat features. I love it. I really do. If you're a digital artist, this is, and like, I used to do graphic design, which is another reason I would do both illustrations and graphic design combined in Photoshop. But even with this, you could still do graphic design. Is it like great if you're doing heavy work in graphic design and looking for like SVG type files? No, but if you're doing digital art, this is a great app. You like the upwards triangle more? Okay, I'll stick with it. I'm sorry. Maybe as a gift for the holidays or something, or a birthday or something. All right, so now that we have our pumpkin face, we're going to create a clipping mask directly on top of the black. And so thinking of where we're looking, okay, so if we're looking this way, kind of have to decide on this. Like, so light, where's our sketch? So we're gonna have light coming this way. What did I turn off there? Turn that off though. Okay, so for having light come this way, we know that there's gonna be highlights around these parts. So that tells me that I believe making I'm trying to think, the innards of this pumpkin would look really good on this side, because then we can catch even more light the same way that we did in this one. I like this, I have a orange light coming this way, and the orange light picks up on the inside of the warm orange light picks up on the inside of the gutted parts of the pumpkin. So I'd like to kind of do something like that. Hello, hi. Oh, thank you. Thank you for telling us a good alternative. I've not tried it myself, but I know there's other options. And by all means, get creative. You know, you don't have to use the same programs to be able to create similar pieces. Theoretically speaking, somebody could watch any of my tutorials, whether, you know, whatever program they're using, and theoretically speaking should be able to duplicate it, because the program would likely have various brushes, the ability to do layers, right, erasers, you know, and that's really all you need. Yeah, it'd be great to have exact features and be able to follow along exactly, but that doesn't mean, like, I will watch like Photoshop tutorials now and just apply that to what I'm working on here, because I don't need to be in the same program to take away the lessons. So let's see. I'm going to pick like a pretty dark orange. We'll see if I end up keeping it. Let's go like this. Okay, so there's the first part. Probably get some right there as well. Okay, so prop up at an angle. It might take me a second to figure out the perspective on this one, but I'll figure it out. I have faith in myself. Should I? I don't know, but I do have faith in myself that I'll figure it out. Leave it alone for a second, think about it. Okay. All right, am I the only one feeling like maybe actually though that I'm just gonna keep it. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm just gonna let it go. Okay, so no on this, but I do think the others work. The question is, can we get it to stand out? So now that I have these, I'm going to combine them. I'm going to add a new clipping mask. And now I'm going to pick a nice, like, warm color. Take the opacity down just a touch. And just start to paint in some of the warmth. And then smudge it. And I'll show you guys what that looks like from a distance. So it'll start to help make these parts stand out more. And then ways to help create the sense of lighting building up from, or like reflecting from the candles over here. We can just paint on top over here on a completely separate layer. There we go. And you really want it to catch on the edges. start making the eyes stand out more. You can do a little bit here on the inside. And then of course we're going to add, you know, more highlights here so it'll make more sense why they are specifically so yellow. What words do I know in Spanish? Not enough, and I'm so sorry. I know like hola, adios, amigo, you know. I'm so sorry I don't know more. I took Japanese for 3 years. I should have taken Spanish. Does it look like it has a candle or something in it as well? Awesome. Just a little bit of light there. I think this one might be a little too much, so I'm just gonna do that. And we want to remember that as we get over here, it is going to get darker. So we can use a more mustardy color back here, where it'll still differentiate between the skin of the pumpkin and where the pumpkin is carved, but just not as vibrant as the other side. Oh, another word, mañana. Look at me go. Okay. And then if there's like an area here, you can just use the smudge tool just to lighten it up a little bit so that you don't have to worry about trying to find exactly the right color to paint there. You can just smudge it, and now there's like a nice seamless gradient. And there we go. Do the nose. Get just a little bit in there, and I will smudge that out so it's not so noticeable. And we'll use this, okay, fine, grab it over here, this darker yellow. And it's not reading well, so I'm actually just going to make it a tiny bit more vibrant. We need it to be dark enough to show the contrast and the gradual difference between here and here. And I'm just going to use that smudge tool to soften up some of the lighting. Okay, so there we go. I can of course add more. I'm going to real quick go back to this layer and just add a little bit more of the warmth of this in here and smudge it in. So that way from a distance, you can start to see how it's coming together. And this is too bright. I'm just going to erase a little bit of it and smudge it some more. Oh, thank you, thank you. All right. So I think that works for now. It may not be perfect or exactly how we end up by the end, but it gives us a good idea of where our light source is, how the pumpkin's going to interact with the rest of the painting. Combine those layers, and now we have our pumpkin mostly done. All right, let's see. Look at our sketch. I still have the book. I'm gonna try working on the candles. I'll see what happens. Hello, candles. I really don't like these colors though. Maybe I need to make them more yellow. That's fun. Okay, that's better. To me it is. We'll find out. Okay, so I like this color. Let's smudge some of this out, and then we'll start really shaping everything. We'll also get the actual candle light itself painted. So sorry for the lawn person. All right, and I will need to make sure that I have some shadows down here. And actually, I might just start with making this darker. I should have just done that. I should make it dark and then paint it light, because that is how down here would be in extreme shadow. Up here would start to get lighter. Clipping mask. Okay, so I'm just gonna do messy work. I'm going to use Gaussian blur just to help me kind of see where majority of the candlelight would be. So up here, and I would like catch there. Okay. Good enough for now. I promise it won't look like this by the end. Or at least I hope so. I don't know if I can keep that promise, but I'm gonna try real hard. So first, let's get oh, that's good. I'm glad it's not too loud. I'm going to save myself some time and just duplicate. I'll flip it horizontally. I might reform it just a little bit. And then I might make this one just a little bit taller. There we go. Combine. And to help us all see better, I'll take that and I'll just paint this side of the skeleton a bit darker. And then we'll adjust the colors later when we add like the lighting of the candles to it. In the meantime, this will just help make it more readable for us. Okay, so I'm going to duplicate on the layer underneath. I'm going to use a Gaussian blur so we can start to get just a little tiny bit of a glow. I'm going to make the background for now like a really deep teal, and we'll probably change that later. That's not the one I want. But I just want to make sure that I'm understanding how the candles are interacting with everything. Okay. Taking this off. Okay. And create a clipping mask. I'm going to do black. And I'm going to yes, I promise I'm getting there. But yes, you are absolutely right. Yes, so there will be like we're probably gonna have like an orange glow down here, and then the melted wax will also be picking up these lighter colors as well. Yes. And yeah, by all means, if you guys see something that I'm missing, point it out, because I'm very, obviously I've been working on this for like 80 minutes. So I'm going to miss things. So if you see stuff, by all means, point it out. I won't be offended at all. Okay, and then I'll need to do like a center on these and stuff, but for now, I'm just gonna start painting. So we want there to be a little bit of warmth, but not too much, and I want it to be more orange. And go back to my inking brush. Also, and I should probably do this, definitely use reference. Use reference. If you don't know how candles look it up. I'll probably be doing that to complete the rest of this piece. I've studied candles before, but I don't have it memorized. Okay, so look at how it looks from afar. Okay, so I think it's slowly coming together. I need to, I'll probably do add for this one, and I'll go to like a creamsicle color. And I'm going into hard airbrush. Nope. Make it smaller. All right, And then I can do that along this edge as well. And then this light's obviously going to be bouncing off of this side of the candle. And then this light's definitely going to be bouncing off of this side of the candle. And I will, you know, fix some of the texture here in a little bit, but all right. I think I'm gonna have to, I'll stay on for like another 10 minutes, but I think I'm gonna have to take a break because I'm getting to the point where I'm getting like foggy brain, which probably means it's time for me to eat. Yes, yes, food and water breaks are very good. I'm glad you even said water. I have my water bottle right next to me. I'm gonna take a sip right now. Definitely needed. Thank you. Yes, I think that's an excellent idea. Definitely should go get some fresh air. Yes, so I haven't finished the skeleton yet. I just put down a darker color here so that we'd be able to see the candle and the glow. We're definitely going to, I just have the shapes down, so we're definitely going to do a lot more painting on the cauldron back here. There will be, you know, lighting that hits the cauldron. There will definitely be, there's also a book I need to paint in here. I need light to catch here and on the leaves. There's still a lot of work to be done. So yes, if anything looks unfinished, it's probably because I still haven't gotten to it, but yes, I'd say the pumpkin's like 80 to 90% there, with the exception of, obviously, I will need to up some of the highlights on it, which I'm going to do in a second, I think, just for funsies. But yes, there are definitely still plenty of things that I need to do. And I'm going to be honest, very nervous about attempting to get it just right. No, thank you for mentioning it. Who knows? Maybe that was my final product, right? You don't know, so thank you for mentioning it. We'll see if, what I could pull off. You'll notice with a lot of my like live drawings, I tend to avoid the things that I'm most scared of attempting to complete. So you'll notice I'm like, oh, I can do the pumpkin. Oh, I can do the greenery. Oh, I can do the candles, but I'm like still avoiding these. And that's because they're the ones I'm most afraid of. They're the ones I'm most afraid Obviously I still need to draw like a wig. I want to lighten up the edges on this as well. I will get there. And then I do need to add more shadows down here. Right? I'm slowly, it's what I'm doing here subconsciously is I'm just building up my confidence. I'm just slowly building up my confidence to tackle those areas. I like this brown orange color. Can I mix it in there? No, it's just gonna make it. So we will go back to here. I will get painted right there. And here. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for subscribing and supporting my channel. Very much appreciated. All right, and definitely need to add in shadows and stuff like that soon. I'm going over to the pumpkin to do my highlights because that just seems fun right now. So I'm going to use this one, go back to my like creamsicle color, and let's add more. Let's see, right here on top. Okay, there it is. Okay, okay. Let's relax a little, not too much. I love lighting. It's my favorite. It's my favorite part. I wish people could just hand me they're like, here's my somewhat finished product. Now you add the special lighting, and I would love that. I just want to do lighting all day. And some of it would definitely pick up right here. Here. This one needs to be taken out just a bit. Experiencing some art block right now. Oh, I so get this. Kind of stopped in the middle of another realistic drawing because I lost motivation after drawing a realistic strawberry. Gosh, do I get this? You know, I think this is going to be more emotional, psychological component of being an artist and painting. Give yourself permission and grace to do that. There is no point in pushing yourself to do something that's not. The whole point of this is like passion, right? it's exciting, it's important to you, it inspires you. And if you're not feeling that, don't push it. That's when we end up actually creating a really negative relationship with our artwork and the experience of creation. I would say own it and then figure out like what's something that would inspire you. Doesn't matter if you put that project down too, you know? I think if all of us were a little bit more open and honest too about like what it's really like in our heads, in our worlds, there would be a lot less, I don't know, like judgment on ourselves, because I know every artist, even the best of the best artists, hit blocks, hit walls, you know, there's probably tons of projects that none of us ever see because that artist is like, yeah, no one's going to ever see this. It is getting deleted, or it's getting thrown away, or I'm keeping it in hopes one day I decide to change what's on the canvas, but no. I also would say too, with like social media nowadays and stuff, we're seeing a lot of people feel the pressure to do things, right? And then when we feel pressure to do things, we lose the desire. So, you know, give yourself grace. It's okay if you're feeling, artist block. Yeah. Yep. I so feel that. Just gonna lighten this area up just a touch. Too much. Okay, I think that's probably good. I can, of course, do more later, but I'm gonna do that for now. I'm going to just add some here. It's the brush I'm using. I'm not having. There we go. I'll just have to lighten up. Maybe I'll grab some of the purple and mix it in here too when I get to that point of the painting. Just soften up some of this stuff so it's not so intense. I still want the highlight. Just don't need it to be that much. Okay. That also means this needs to be more shadowed down here. And these also need some color variations. So, some of these would catch light down here. Because some of these would probably catch the yellow light as well. It's smaller though. I know I'm not the only one that does this, so who else talks to themselves? Who else like pep talks themselves through their artwork? And I might be stretching some of the lighting a little bit, but I think as long as it's still believable to some extent, you can make it work. So I'm going to put some purple back here. To help give that back glow. Yeah, I talk to myself often as well. I mean, especially when you work from home alone, you know? All right, that's good enough for now. Just kind of gives us an idea. That will be worked on more though. Just a tiny bit of purple glow. And don't ask me why, but this is where my brain just went. I want to feel inspired about this cauldron that's scaring me to death. So I'm going to add magical elements to it. I'm using the driven snow, and I'm on the ad, and I'm just gonna remind myself this is gonna be a magic cauldron, and we're gonna love it when we work on it. But right now, we're not loving it. But if we just have a little sparkle, I might not be as unhappy about having to work on this. Okay, that's exciting. I'm going to move it back here though, so it doesn't overlap with the. And going back to this. Huh. I think this will be nice and work when I finally figure out how I want to paint the face. But I think the purple and the yellow are gonna look nice. Oh yes, definitely, I agree. What I need to do is actually stick with this and actually paint it. I will take a few minutes and then I will go take my break. Because I need to get yellow down here and also more along here, also down here. Okay, just combine them. I trust myself. I can do this. Maybe I even just get rid of this. Maybe we just do that. Or if I do something back there, just not as prominent. There we go. I think that's better. I also think that this light would catch in the eye socket, so maybe I'll do like a brown, like a warmish color. That just sort of catches on the inside here. And then I can obviously add like highlights. Thank you. I agree. Much better. I don't know what I was thinking, but that's okay. And then, okay, so I like that. I'm going to take the color white, maybe just, you know, highlight some under eye areas. Hello, welcome, welcome. Okay, so I'm just gonna take that highlight away for a sec so I can actually get a look at how this is. So grab this, I need to get this repainted up here. Yes, so I'm not done with the cauldron, but once I make it brighter and more vibrant, the purple will make more sense. But I had to repaint this area because I accidentally smudged it. So hopefully it'll start to look more normal soon once I get this all blended better. I also need to duplicate, and on this underside, smudge. There we go. Combine. God, so annoying. Combine. There we go. Okay, so let's try. Oh, my thoughts. Nope, okay, that's fine. There we go. Okay, so I just need to erase these because these were just me putting down colors so we could see where the highlights would be. And I can repaint that. I can also get some of the candlelight now, catching. Along here. Here. Hi there, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. Well, it doesn't look great up close, and I will fix it. What we're most interested in is how it reads from afar. So if something doesn't show up, that either tells you that that detail is not relevant or that you need to make it more relevant. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate you following me, and I'm so thrilled that you have found my tips and tricks helpful. If ever you have questions, if I can't answer it, I will. I'll always be honest if I don't feel like I am the right person to ask for something. I share what I know, and what I don't know, I will try my best to direct you to someone who does. Okay. I think this is a good place for me to take a breather, step away from the project, go eat, hydrate myself like a plant. I'm gonna go water myself, and I'll come back and I will do more with this. I'm looking forward to it. I do think a break though will really help my eyes adjust, and I'll be able to see, you know, some new things that we can add and adjust, so it'll be good. Thank you guys so much for spending time with me, for hanging out. This is one of my favorite times of the day where I get to just be creative and spend time with other creatives, so thank you. And I will see if I have the energy to come back on a little bit later today, but if not, I will see you guys hopefully tomorrow. Please take care of yourselves. If you haven't subscribed, please do, and go ahead and check out my other Procreate materials. I have a Procreate list with the materials and the tutorials that I've made over the last couple months. So thank you all so much again, and I'll see you soon. Bye guys.